Welcome friends. Now we will start our last unit, unit number 6, influence line diagrams. So this is the last unit of our syllabus. Now see, we have seen various methods of structural analysis, and all these methods were applicable for static loads. When the position of loads or loading is fixed, then we analyze the structure. So analysis means finding out reactions, support reactions, shear forces, bending moment, construction of SFD and BMD. Means ultimately the analysis is carried out to evaluate design forces. So we have to design a structure. So before designing any structure, we have to calculate design forces. And to find out these design forces, we have to analyze the structure. Now, influence line diagram is again one of the method used for analysis of structure. But when the structure is subjected to moving loads, then influence line diagrams are to be used. So, for example, most of the bridges, they are subjected to vehicular traffic, moving traffic. So mainly the railway bridges, say the trussed railway bridges subjected to moving loads, then the influence line diagram is very useful. So this influence line diagram is used to find out the forces in the members of trussed bridges when it is subjected to moving load. So position of load is not fixed. So load is moving from one end to the other end, and under such circumstances, when we want to analyze a structure, then the influence line diagram, this method is to be used. So this is most useful when any structure is subjected to moving loads or traffic loads. So from when load, say, is the position of load is not fixed, so position of load is changing, then the influence line diagrams are to be used. Now, before we start the examples how these influence line diagrams are to be constructed, let's say the definition for this. So how to define influence line diagram? So the definition you will understand much better after solving few examples. Now say it is a graph showing variation of structural quantity which quantities? Structural quantity such as reaction, shear force, bending moment, etc. So structural quantities such as reaction, shear force, bending moment, etc. at any section of a structure. Say a graph showing variation of structural quantities such as reaction, shear force, bending moment, etc. at any point or any section of a structure when moving, this is important, when moving unit load is placed at that section, So very simple definition. It is a graph showing variation of structural quantity along the length of the structure when a moving unit load is placed at that point. So it's a graph only which shows the variation of structural quantity is called influence line diagram. There is alternate definition also or we can define alternatively, it is the relation, between structural quantity such as reaction, shear force, bending moment, etc. It is the relation between structural quantity and position of moving unit load. So it indicates that these graphs or ILDs are always constructed for moving unit load from one end to the other end. Means for various positions of this moving unit load, we have to find out a particular structural quantity, and then this structural quantity is to be plotted in the form of a graph, and that graph itself is called influence line diagram. And because this graph is constructed for unit load, moving unit load, irrespective of the external loading acting on the beam. Hence, each and every ordinate of this influence line diagram is called influence line coefficient. So every ordinate of the diagram is called influence line coefficient, and the entire diagram is called influence line diagram. Now we will consider one example and how these influence line diagrams are to be constructed to find out a particular structural quantity. Means when a unit load is moving from one end to the other end, how to calculate various structural quantity, how to find out, how to draw the influence line diagram, and then how these influence line diagrams are used to find out that particular structural quantity, that we will see. Now let's consider an example. Say simply supported beam. So initially what we will do, we will construct influence line diagrams by calculations, and then we will see the Muller-Brussels principle. So without doing any calculations how to construct influence line diagrams, that we will see. Now let's consider, say example, a simply supported beam. So generally simply supported means one end is a hinge and other is roller. So we call this beam as a simply supported beam. So instead of the supports, direct simple support can be shown. Now the ILDs are to be constructed always from moving unit load from one end to the other end. Say this is a unit load. Say this is A, this is B. So a unit load is moving from left to right hand. So position of load varies. Let's consider X is the position and remaining distance is X minus X, L minus X. And total span is L. So this is the simply supported beam. Now the ILDs possible, various possible ILDs for this, we have to construct ILD for RA, ILD for RB, then shear force and bending moment at any section, say shear force and bending moment at any section C. So these are the four possible ILDs. That means we want to find out the reactions, we want to find out shear force bending moment at any section. That means whenever you want to find out a particular structural quantity, so first of all we have to construct influence line diagram for that structural quantity. And after getting the influence line diagram, then you see the external loads, the given external loads on the structure, and then that loading, the position of loading is to be decided first so that the structural quantity is a maximum, and then the structural quantity is worked out. Now see, load is moving from one end to the other end, and say this reaction is RA and this reaction is say RB. This reaction is RA and RB. So for any position of unit load X, we know that RA is L minus X upon L and RB is X by L. Because load is, it is Wx by L. W is 1. Here W into L minus X divided by L. How these reactions are calculated? So if we take the moment here, you will get RB. Then use summation Fi equal to 0, you will get RA. Simply by using equilibrium conditions, you will get RA and RB. Since there is only one load, one concentrated load, and always the ILDs are constructed for single concentrated load moving from one end to the other end. So for a single load, unit load, the reactions, the load into this distance divided by span is the left reaction. Right reaction means load into left distance divided by span will be the right reaction. So directly you can find out the reactions. Now first of all, say if you want to construct ILD for RA, suppose you want to construct ILD for RA, here I will write down ILD for RA. Let us construct ILD for RA. Means we have to establish the relation between RA and position of moving unit load in order to get the ILD for RA. So RA, that we know, RA is equal to L minus X divided by L. RA is nothing but L minus X, and applicability of this 0 less than or equal to X less than or equal to L. So this is the applicable, means X equal to 0 minimum and X equal to L maximum. So RA equal to L minus X divided by L. Again you see that this relation is a first degree in X. So that means this is a linear variation. RA varies linearly because X is a first degree. If it is X square, then it will vary parabolically or quadratically. If it is cube, then cubical variation. Since it's a linear first degree equation, linear variation. So ILD is linear. Again, what is the ordinate at A? Means, what is meaning? When unit load is placed at point A, when unit load is placed at point A, that means at X equal to 0, what is RA? RA equal to 1. When X we put equal to 0, RA is 1. And when X equal to L, RA is 0. X equal to L, RA is 0. That means when unit load is at A, reaction RA is 1. When unit load is at B, reaction RA is equal to 0. And again, linear variation. That equation itself shows linear variation. That means the maximum ordinate is 1 here. This is the ordinate 1 and 0 here, and linear means a straight line. So draw a straight line joining these 2 points. Now this variation of RA along the length of beam is called influence line diagram. So this is ILD for RA, that's all. Now exact below the load, what is the ordinate? So this ordinate is nothing but L minus X upon L. And each and every ordinate of this ILD represents reaction RA when unit load is placed at that point. When unit load is placed at that point. That means this ordinate represents reaction RA when unit load is here. When unit load is placed at the corresponding point on the beam. So this variation of RA represents influence line diagram for RA. And each and every ordinate of this diagram represents influence line coefficient, because these ordinates are constructed for moving unit load from one end to the other end. Now suppose the external loading, whatever UDL or concentrated number of external loads may be given, or combination of UDL and concentrated loads may be given. Then what is RA? The RA equal to, now for maximum RA, because loading will be moving from one end to the other end. So in order to have the maximum RA, you first fix up the position of load. Then if it is a concentrated load, load into corresponding ordinate plus load into corresponding ordinate will be the reaction RA. For UDL, you take UDL, intensity of UDL multiplied by area under the UDL, area of this diagram under the UDL. So it is once we have the influence line diagram, whatever is the external loading, so you will get reaction RA. So you will get, and when RA will be maximum, when RA will be minimum, that from the diagram itself. That means if there are say 4 concentrated loads, then the last concentrated load must be kept here because the maximum ordinate is here, and then accordingly the other loads are to be placed, and then the first load into this ordinate, second load into corresponding ordinate. So like that we will get reaction RA, maximum RA. Okay, that how to use that we will see later on. Now next, let us suppose you want to construct ILD for RB. Suppose now I will write down here RB only, ILD for RB. Now this ILD is construct, what is RB? RB is equal to X by L. What it represents actually, and applicability 0 less than or equal to X less than or equal to L. This is the applicability, and this itself, this or this shows the relation between a structural function or structural quantity RA and position X, position of moving unit load. Here also relation between X, RB and X means the alternative definition is ILD is the relation between the structural quantity and position of moving unit load is nothing but influence line diagram. So both way we can define the influence line diagram. Now at X equal to 0, what is RB? RB is 0, and at X equal to L, RB is 1. And again linear variation, that equation itself shows the linear variation. So here it is 0, when unit load is at A, RB is 0. Now this is the 1 and this is plus. So this is ILD for RB. This is each and every ordinate of this diagram will represent reaction RB. And exact under the load, what is that ordinate? X by L. X by L. So ordinate, each ordinate represents reaction RB when unit load is placed at that point. So this is RB. Suppose you have a point C here at a distance A from left hand and B from right hand. Point C at a distance A from left hand and B from right hand. That means suppose we want to construct the ILD for shear force and bending moment at point C. Next possible, all possible ILDs we can construct now by calculation. Same ILDs we can construct later on by using Muller-Brussels principle. So this is ILD for RA. Now I want to construct ILD for SC, that is shear force at C. ILD for shear force at C, SC. Let's consider SC is the shear force at point C. Now that means first let's find out expression for shear force at C for various positions of unit load. Again, we know that when unit load is on left of C, when it is on left of C, C is a given section where we want to find out shear force. Now say when unit load is on left of C. And what is the sign convention that we are going to use this? This is positive and this is negative. This is our usual sign convention. On the left of section, upward positive, downward negative. So when unit load is on left of C, that is on AC. When unit load is on AC, what is the shear force? SC equal to. Now consider right part. So on the right, RB is upward, means this is the case. Means this is minus RB, and which is nothing but x by L. What is the applicability? 0 less than or equal to A less than or equal to, x less than or equal to A. So 0, minimum value 0, maximum x. So A, maximum is A. Means when it is on the left, when unit load is at C, what is the shear force? That means at x equal to 0, shear force is 0. And at x equal to A, shear force minus A by L. This is minus. So shear force is minus A by L. Linear variation. See, we are going to construct ILDs for determinate structures, and one thing you remember, for determinate structures, ILDs are always linear. So there is no question of curve. It is always linear. For indeterminate structures only, the ILDs will vary non-linearly. So now that means let's take a reference line. Say ILD for shear force, and the section C is here. Say this is A and negative 0. Say this is A by L and this is minus. So 0 at when unit load is at A, shear force is 0. When unit load is at C, shear force is minus A by L, therefore downward. Then next, when unit load is on CB or right of C, when unit load is on part CB or it crosses that section or it is just a right of C, then what is the shear force? Then consider LHS to find out shear force. Means here I can write down to find SC, consider LHS. So left hand side, apply summation Fy equal to, shear force is nothing but summation Fy equal to 0. So let's consider left hand side. So shear force will be now RA, and this is positive, means this is L minus x upon L. Applicability A less than or equal to x less than or equal to L. Minimum value is A, maximum value is L. So at x equal to A, so this RA will be equal to L minus A upon L. So this is B by L. And x equal to L, RA is 0. So RA means shear force. We can say shear force, SC. So not, this is shear force. So that means this is plus A by L. So this is B by L. This is B by L. And 0. Where is linearly? 0. This is plus. So this is ILD for shear force at section C. Now next, let's consider bending moment. ILD for bending moment at C. So this is the reference line. Now to construct influence line diagram for bending moment at C, again for various positions of unit load we have to find out the bending moment at various sections. So ILD for bending moment at C, MC. ILD for bending moment at C. Now here say that means when unit load is on AC, when unit load is on AC. Now the sign convention takes sagging positive and hogging negative. Sagging positive and hogging negative as usual. This you know very well. Now bending moment MC is equal to, so when unit load is on the left of section, RB is sagging now. So this is RB into B. So what is RB? X upon L into B. And applicability 0 less than equal to X less than equal to A. So minimum value of x is 0, maximum is A. So at x equal to 0, bending moment 0. At x equal to A, MC is AB upon L. And again linear variation. So here bending moment is positive. This is AB upon L. Now next, when unit load is on CB, then bending moment at C is to be calculated by considering left hand side of the section, that is again sagging, positive, RA into A. What is RA? L minus X upon L into A. And applicability of this, A less than equal to X less than equal to L. Minimum value of X we can put A, maximum L. So at X equal to 0, what is bending moment? So this is, X equal to A we have to substitute. And this L minus A is nothing but B. So this is again AB by L. So starting is same. And at X equal to L, bending moment 0. So that means you will get a bending ILD for bending moment. So this is the ILD for bending moment. Variation is linear. That means each and every ordinate, if it is upward we show positive, downward of the reference line we show negative. Now every ordinate of this diagram represents bending moment. Every ordinate of this diagram represents shear force. Means whenever we want to find out a shear force at a given section, first of all we have to construct ILD for shear force at that section. If you want to find out bending moment at a given section, first of all we have to construct ILD for bending moment at a given section. And once we get these ILDs, then only one, that's corresponding structural function is to be calculated. Then see, because at a given section, when shear force is maximum, when bending moment is maximum, accordingly the position of moving unit load is fixed. And once we fix up the position, then that load into corresponding ordinates plus will be that particular structural function. If UDL is given, then intensity of load into area under the load is to be taken into account. So that gives us the required structural quantity. Means the influence line diagrams are very useful when a structure is subjected to moving loads. Particularly for design of bridges, these are very, very useful. So this is the example we have seen for a simply supported beam by calculation how to construct influence line diagrams, just by establishing the relation between the position of unit load and that structural quantity by using equilibrium conditions. By calculation we can do this very easily. And one more example we will see by calculation, that is cantilever beam. That is also a determinant. Once you understood properly the ILDs for simply supported beam and cantilever beam, then ILDs for compound beam can be constructed very, very easily. And then thereafter we will see the Muller-Brussels principle. And once you understand the Muller-Brussels principle, then such type of calculations are not required. So directly we will construct the influence line diagrams. So now we will stop here, and during the next lecture, first of all we will see the ILDs for cantilever beam by calculations, and then we will see the Muller-Brussels principle and how to use this Muller-Brussels principle to construct influence line diagrams without doing any calculations. So ILDs for determinate structures are very, very simple once you understand Muller-Brussels principle. Okay, thank you.